Crazy game, crazy game. It's not nearly what I think I expected going in, but it's just kind of the way the game went. Extremely proud of how the guys continue to fight. We kind of say the same thing 3 weeks in a row. Things didn't go perfectly, made a lot of mistakes, especially defensively, just dealing with the triple option. We were concerned about it all week, and we actually slowed down some of the key things that they typically have success with. It was the things they went to from there that got us. But just really, really proud of the way we played the fourth quarter. We won both sides of the ball there. Defense made some stops when they had to, forced punts, created turnovers. Those had obviously been really hard to come by earlier in the game. At times, it looked like we really didn't have an answer defensively. But guys kept playing. The effort level was phenomenal all the way through, and we made huge plays when we had to. Got to give the offensive unit credit for being able to move the ball and get the ball in the end zone, not settling for field goals, moving the ball on third down, fourth down, whatever it took to get the win. So team win, hands down, covered well, special teams, and really did not give up the big play. Didn't have a lot of tremendous opportunities, but had decent field position all day. And so I think all three phases played where they needed to win, and it came down to the wire. So they've learned to keep fighting and play hard and give us a chance. And that's what it's taken all 3 weeks. It's probably going to keep doing that on a weekly basis. Stressful, but very proud of how this group is fighting. Does not get any easier. Clearly, we got a great opponent coming in. We get to play at home, which is good. And while people are listening, I'll tell you, we need it packed and loud and crazy. I know we still got some tickets available, and I hope they're going out the door like crazy right now. We need the student section on point. Everything that we can do to try to create a hostile environment for Boise coming in, we need help. So calling all Aggie Nation to come out in big numbers for an early Saturday kick. I love the fact that we're playing at home on an early Saturday morning. Get up, eat breakfast, and go play against a really good opponent. But proud of where we're at. We just got to keep getting better.
Coach Anderson, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. How much does it mean to you guys to get that opportunity to play on CBS?
We honestly really don't think about it a whole lot. I do say that anytime you can go out and play on a national stage and represent the university and the logo and the brand well, it obviously helps in recruiting. But we're focused on the opponent. It just so happens that there's going to be a few more cameras maybe this week than normal.
Coach Ajay Salveson, have you had a chance to look at the late hit on Logan Bonner? What did you see of it? And what is his status, and how is he feeling going into Saturday?
He'll be fine. I mean, he's sore. He's really sore, but by the end of the week, he'll be ready to go. He always is, and he's tough. Saw him this morning. And he said, he's going to be fine. I disagreed with the call. I think it was clearly late. I submitted it. I don't know what kind of response we'll get, but it doesn't do a whole lot of good after the fact. Luckily, he's going to be okay. He'll be sore for a few days, and I would expect by Saturday he'll be ready to spin it.
And then what's the status on Dominick Tatum as well, Coach?
Dom Tatum is probably likely out for quite some time, if not the rest of the season. We don't have all the details, but it was a significant injury. We'll see how it goes. Prayers with him, and he's a great kid and worked hard to get where he's at. But I don't expect that he'll be ready for quite some time, and it could potentially be season ending.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach, Jake Nielsen. I just want to ask you about specifically about Boise State, and they're the top of the conference, right? If you want to win the division, you generally got to go through them. So what's your thoughts on just kind of their success over a period of time in the Mountain West, and then specifically about the game on Saturday?
Well, they're built well. They've done a great job recruiting. Obviously, they've got a ton of notoriety over the last 10 years or so, maybe more, and they've recruited well due to that. And they've built a great program, and I don't expect that to change, although, they've proven that they can be beaten if you play great ball. I mean, San Jose State won the league last year, beat them in that game to get it done. And, we've got to go out and concentrate on us. They're built well. They've got speed. They've got size. They've got power. They're gonna test you in every area, every phase. They're well coached. But if we go out and play the best ball we can play, then it's a game that we can win. We're just going to have to earn every bit we get, and it's going to be a challenge. There's some mismatches up early, I think, that we're going to have to try to if we can, kind of hold on and kind of ride the wave and hope that, again, our style of play, our conditioning, our tempo, the way we spread the field, just little things that we do, hopefully can frustrate them and maybe bring some things back into our favor. But there's not a lot of matchups in our favor starting out, play one. But it's a 60-minute game, as we've seen 3 weeks in a row. We don't necessarily have to be the best team snap one. We got to be the consistent team and be able to still be there and find a way to get the job done. So I think our kids know that and believe that, and they'll be ready for this particular opponent.
Hey, Coach. Let me just ask you about just on paper, it looks like the problem for Boise State is they haven't been able to run the ball and they can't stop the run. Now, is that fair when you look at film? Well,
they've played some really good people. I mean, they've played some good folks. I think the talent level that you're lining up against has a lot to do with that. I mean, the stats lie to you. Look, they can play. It's a good football team. I mean, Central Florida and Oklahoma State are both quality football teams. They have not played an easy schedule by any means. They did what they're supposed to in the one game that they were absolutely better than the opponent. The other two, they played solid, very close, down-to-the-wire football. I think stats will lie to you. I think they're built solid across the front, and it's going to take everything we got to move the ball against them, whether it be by throwing it or running the ball.
Coach, Trent Wood with Deseret News. I know you've coached a lot of football over your career. I'm curious what the experience of coaching this team has been like for you thus far.
I love this group. I mean, anytime you get a group that plays as hard as they play, buys in the way they have, doesn't quit, doesn't get down, doesn't point fingers on the sideline when things don't go well, as resilient as they are, it's hard not to love to come to work. We get that attitude from them every day. Practices are great. The environment in the building is truly a very tight-knit family group. When you consider how many guys we brought in here that were new, that's not a guarantee that you get that. So the kids that were here before that have been through a lot have done a phenomenal job of helping us create that culture. So I absolutely love coaching them.
Coach,
Aaron Paul with the Salt Lake Tribune.
Go ahead,
Sorry, Jason. Aaron Paul with the Trib. Curious just about building that camaraderie and what was your role as a coaching staff to bring that in and kind of blend those cultures? Just
come in and be us, transparent, wide open, door open, spend time with them on and off the field, make it very clear what our expectations were, be accountable on a daily basis, be selfless, be tough, put the team first, no egos in the building. That starts with me. At head coach, come in and be just down-to-earth person that cares about them. We hold them to high standards. We hold them accountable. We discipline. But we also love on them and care about them on a daily basis and hug their necks and spend time with them really in areas that have nothing to do with football. We have tried to build a family here. And that's asking a lot of guys, considering all that they've been through. But I think it's something that they wanted, and they have bought into it and put just as much energy back into that. And you're seeing the effects of that on the field. We're pulling together when it gets tough. We're pulling together, lifting each other when it gets tough. And they have worked their tails off to be in good enough condition to play hard for 60 minutes. And I think there's a confidence level that comes with the ability to still run to the ball, play at a high energy level late. All of that is the culture, and the kids deserve the credit for that. And the coaches for buying into that and being willing to give up their time and give up themselves and not just coach X's and O's and go home every day.
Coach, this is the most success I can remember USU athletics department having as a whole during the fall in a long time with the soccer team, the way they're playing. The volleyball team is much improved. Cross-country teams are both really, really good. How much have you guys kind of been feeding off of each other's success, and how fun has it been to be a big part of that?
It started for me back in the spring watching Craig and the basketball team just play the way they did, and gymnastics. I was able to go to a bunch of different events and be part of that. I think it's carried over into the fall, and I believe that success kind of becomes contagious. The energy becomes contagious. We got a lot of great coaches and players in every department here on campus. I love that it is a community feel, a family feel that starts at the top, from the president's office to the AD's office and every coach in the building. So I love it. That's what I love about college ball. Just when you consider the fan base, the student section that creates energy in every one of those events. I mean, you can't get that everywhere. We're lucky to have it. We just want to build on it.
Was Justin Rice was the player of the week, and you've watched him play the last little bit. Is he playing at a higher level, or has he improved? And then the other thing I would ask then is, have other guys on the defense picked it up enough? Are you getting enough of that kind of effort from other guys on the defensive side so far as you look at film?
Well, effort level, I'll answer that first. Absolutely. We're getting that across the board on both sides and in special teams as well. It's what's allowing us to compete. Because to be honest with you, I'm not sure that we're out athleting anybody, or at least in many places. There's a lot of areas that effort is the deciding factor in some of the battles that we're winning. Is he playing at a high level? Absolutely. Has he improved? Yes. He's worked very, very hard. He's in much better shape than he was a year ago. I think he truly has spent time and completely understands what we're asking him to do, is taking on a leadership role, and is very, very prepared on a weekly basis. This was a lot to ask this past week. There's a lot to ask to defend what we see in terms of the triple and all the things they're able to bring at you. And he was in the right spot most of the day, made huge plays, none bigger than the strip fumble late to get the ball back to our offense. But I've come to expect it from him, but I am very proud that he's taken things to another level, physically being prepared, in better shape, and I think mentally better prepared going into the games to know exactly what he's going to see and to truly be kind of having a coach on the field, kind of the leader of what we're doing over there.
One other thing from the game, we talked last week, I asked you about the fourth downs, and you're still doing that. But was the onside kick kind of being more of an aggressive type of decision to make in the game when you made that decision?
Well, premium, possessions are a premium when you play them. They're going to run the clock. They had the ball for 43 minutes. We had it for 16 and a half. So we did not win the possession battle. We won the points battle. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. We saw a schematic advantage in how they played their kick return team. We did not execute the ball well. It was not a well-kicked ball. It should have been wider out on the edges where we had a numbers and a space advantage. We just didn't execute it well. It was strategic in the fact that we knew we had to try to steal a possession, and that was the best place to try to do so. And we just didn't execute it well. Defense did a great job of not allowing points, a touchdown on that drive. So, they knew going in it was going to potentially – it was kind of a 50-50 ball. It was a risk we were willing to take. Didn't come out the way, and they did a great job of bailing us out and not allowing a touchdown on that drive. So in terms of fourth down, some of that was the same. You can't waste possessions. We were aggressive again, but calculated in those areas. None of them I thought were very tough decisions. They were really what I felt like had to be done at the time. None bigger than the last one there. That was 4th and 4 or 5 that we were able to convert. If we gave the ball back to them, we might not see it again. The clock might just bleed out. And we had to make a play in that particular area to win the game, and luckily we were able to do that.
Coach, how do you assess the offensive line play? And it seemed like Bonner was, he's been getting hit a lot, it seems like. And Peasley came in and dealt with that pressure maybe a little bit better. So is that something that you would think about using Peasley more in that situation, or is it just two different styles of dealing with the pressure?
Well, yeah, they deal with them differently. Bonner tends to slide in the pocket and stay in longer and deliver the ball, and Peasley is obviously really comfortable using his feet, and you can see when he does, it creates big plays. So there's benefits to both. They were built well up front. They moved well up front, got to us. We're not giving up sacks, but we are, there's going to be some pressures and some times that we're getting bumped up, but Logan is that guy. He has always stood in the pocket to the bitter end and delivered the ball and tried to distribute the ball. And he does that really, really well. You got to give them credit. They're built well and did a good job up front of creating movements and getting to us. But we made it really clear Peasley's going to be involved. He had to be more involved than maybe we expected because of the injury to Logan. But, man, I could not be more proud of how he came in and played. We don't win that game if he doesn't come in prepared and play at a high level. He did both. He threw the ball well. He ran the ball well. He extended plays, did all the things that we knew he could do. But, and Bonner played exactly the way we expect him to play early before the injury. They both bring value, and they both bring things that you have to defend. I'm proud of the O-line. I think we can continue to get better. We were a little beat up. We were without some guys. As we get healthier and as they play together more and more in this system, I think they'll only get better. They're going to need to be this week because these guys can play. These guys are good up front. They're going to test us, and we're going to have to be sound.
Obviously, the offensive statistics were really impressive from Saturday's game, but they have been the entire season. The bottom line is you guys scored touchdowns when you got inside the red zone, and even outside the red zone. You settled for field goals in the first couple of games. Yeah, you kicked 5 field goals. So how nice was it to see drives punctuated in the end zone every time against Air Force?
Yeah, it's huge, huge. Yards are great, stats are great, but they'll lie to you. What matters is points and touchdowns specifically. We talk to the defense. We don't care about how many yards they give up. Just make people kick the ball. And offensively, we don't care how many yards we get. We just got to punch it in the end zone. And the formula paid in our favor. We gave up a lot of points. We gave up a lot of yards this week. Offense, they matched and got the ball in the end zone. We got the stops when we needed too late, and our offense was able to put it in. So it is a group effort. It is a group effort, and we have made some progress, obviously, in the first 3 weeks of being a little bit better down in the tight areas. We were able to punch it in using all the weapons that we got, whether it be run or throw. So it's something that we're going to have to consistently be good at, as we move forward. And the challenge is what happens when you got 22 people in a very confined space? Can you get it in the end zone? We did that this week. We got to keep doing that.
Titled Boise things. Is this the best defense that you've played so far for Boise State? And tell us about Bachmeier, quarterback.
I would say, yeah, collectively, best defense we will have played, hands down. It is a huge challenge for our offense to extend drives and finish in the end zone. They are going to challenge you basically in every area, and the matchups are difficult all across the board. Length, size, speed, physicalness. There's just not a weakness that you see. I think their quarterback does a great job of staying poised and getting the ball. They obviously do a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of eye candy, misdirection. He can deliver the ball. He's very calm, and he's got tons of weapons. So yeah, I think we're, the challenges are everywhere. I know our guys are going to be fired up and excited about it, but we're going to have to play sound in every area, or you get exposed.
Coach, from a season opener to a home opener to a conference opener, it seems like every game's been a 12-round knockout, drag-out fight. A lot of teams would be running on pure fumes. How is your team dealing with all this emotionally, mentally, and physically?
I honestly think every step just fires them up even more. It's kind of like throwing gas on a flame. The energy in the locker room afterwards, the energy in the building yesterday, this morning, downstairs in the training room, just guys in here getting extra work, guys in here watching tape. Every ounce of success just breeds more excitement in the group. They love to work. They're not afraid of it. We respect every opponent, but not afraid of the opponent or really the moment. I think we're just going to get better and better and better as we continue to work. And so our focus is one day at a time. It has been since I got here. It's going to continue to be that. I am proud of the improvement, and we're going to need to continue to improve to have success against the best opponent we've seen all year.
Think about Lewis, KBNU radio. Were you surprised that your former teammate Jalen Warren ran for over 200 yards against Boise State last week?
Not really. He's a tough runner. He kind of reminds me of Calvin Tyler a little bit. Like, he just puts his nose down and runs the ball really hard. But he had 20-something carries, and he's really a workhorse when it comes to carrying the ball. So that didn't really surprise me at all.
Jacob, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. You guys ranked third nationally among FBS teams in total offense now. How much pride do you guys take as an offensive line in helping the offense achieve this early success that it has?
Really, like, our whole front seven we like pride ourselves on like moving the ball and really running the ball too, because then that kind of opens it up for passing game and everything. And so I think that's something that's been different this year is just like we have a lot more confidence in general. And so it's like we know that we can move the ball whenever we want to. And so it's like we can really run the ball or pass the ball on command. So
on that topic, Jacob, you really run the ball. It looks like better in the second half. Is that you guys are more physical? Do you plan on that? And again, coaches talked about you guys being again more sound with your strength and conditioning.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something. I mean, coaches mentioned before with Coach Jackson, our head strength coach. That's something he's always ever since he got here back in January. He's been working with us. Just all our conditioning and everything. And I mean, we see that coming up in the second half pretty much of every game so far. It's we're not tired, and the other team, we're running our pace offense. Like we're not tired at all. And then that's when the other team starts letting up and they're getting tired. And that's when we really start busting like our big runs. And we see a lot of those bigger plays. So yeah, that's definitely something that we pride ourselves on.
Hey, Jacob, Jake Nielsen, Utah Statesman. I talked to you before the season, and you said the goal for the offensive line is you wanted to have a 1,000-yard rusher. And 3 games in, Calvin Tyler, he's 288 if my math is right. He's on pace for it. So how do you feel about that goal thus far with Calvin in your line?
Yeah, I mean, and any offensive line that can say they have almost 200 yards rushing in their first 3 games of the year would be really proud of that. So our whole offensive line, that's something we really take pride in is pounding the rock and like making sure that we do have that 1,000-yard rusher, because it's like that's a big achievement, and that means that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing right. So that's really awesome.
Jacob, the whole athletic department has had a lot of success this fall with soccer winning at BYU on Saturday. Volleyball, this is their best start in over a decade, probably. Mm-hmm. Cross-country teams are both good. How much does it mean to you to be a part of that, and how much do you feed off of the success the other programs are having?
Well, this is like my 4th year here, so it's like I really feel like I'm an Aggie, and so it's great to see all those other sporting teams that we have being successful, all of us being successful at the same time. And so especially just know some of those other players on those other teams, and it's just like we all have like a great feeling, and like it's just like winning's great. No one doesn't like winning, so it's just it's contagious. So
Aaron Falk with the Salt Lake Tribune. New coaching staff comes in, and there's always a chance for bumps in the road, and so that you guys have gelled really quickly. How has that happened? What's sort of been the process of building that culture from your point of view?
I mean, I think there was like a stat or something that came out at the start of the year that we had like one of the youngest coaching staffs in the country or something like that. I'm not sure, but I think that could be something that has helped us like gel with our coaches a lot more, because I know I've gelled really well with both my O-line coaches, and I feel like we can like connect better, and like when they're trying to teach me the right technique or the right thing to do on the field, then it's like I can connect better with them and like ask them questions more, and really like be able to better myself as a football player, and like also myself as a person outside of football too.
If you've had experience against Boise State, it hasn't been good experiences. What is it like to play against them? What do you remember of games playing against Boise State?
So I think 2 years ago, that was my second start ever playing against Boise, and they had like Curtis Weaver and a really good defensive line. And so that was a really challenging game for me personally. But just like in the past, it's always been a game that's been circled on our calendar every year, because we know it's going to be a dogfight every time. And so they're always stout up front. They always have a good linebacker core. Their secondary is always solid. And so we really always know that we're going to have a challenge coming into Boise, but I think we're all confident this year that we'll have a good outcome. So.
Well, you guys broke through against a Power 5 team. You've done some things that haven't been done before. I mean, the coach says you guys are confident in going in against whoever you play. Can you talk a little about that in the Boise situation?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said earlier, winning's contagious. And so it's like with every win, it helps build our confidence and everything. And that's one of the most important things you can have on offense is confidence. And so confidence running the ball, confidence passing the ball. And so I think we have a lot of that, and we kind of have a little bit of mojo too. And so it's like we know that once we get that first down, then it's like then the ball's really rolling and we're scoring and we're playing fast and everything. And so I think that's just what that mentality is. So,
Jacob, the two teams in the Mountain Division of the conference that you guys have always struggled with are Air Force and Boise State, right? And just beat Air Force, and so now Boise State. I know you take games week by week, day by day, but if you guys can show up here and get a win, like what would that do for y'all, like for the rest of the season, and like set you up in terms of your reaching your goal of winning the conference?
Yeah, I mean, it would do really good for us in our conference standings and everything. And but at this point, we don't really like looking forward that much. It's always 1 degree better every day. And so it's like focused on Boise this week, focused on beating them, focused on putting together a game plan to help us be able to do that. And so I think we're all ready and aching to go against this Boise team. So.
Marcus, Al, Lewis, KB, and you, Radio and Logan. How do you feel physically after going up against Air Force? Everybody's always saying they're going after your legs and doing things with their blocking and all that. How do you feel physically after the game?
In terms of my legs, I think that we prepared well for the cut blocks that we did expect. I actually do. I mean, I feel pretty good after the couple of days off. Looking forward to Boise.
Hey, Marcus, Jake Nielsen, Utah Statesman. What are your thoughts on just the 10 a.m. start? How does that affect your preparation for the day? And then secondly, your thoughts on playing on national television on CBS?
In terms of our preparation, I'm pretty sure that our coaches will make sure that we are prepared. It definitely will be an earlier start. So that is something that we got to keep in mind. What was your second question?
Just playing on CBS national television, does that matter to you at all?
Honestly, not too much. I mean, although I do believe that we're going to have a bigger platform, I mean, not too much. No, it doesn't.
Marcus, how interchangeable have you guys been on the defensive front? Have we going too deep? Is there sometimes a 3-deep situation in games? What's happened so far?
Depending on, if a guy needs to come in or come out, our coaches are pretty good about rotating. There is a 1-deep and there is a 2-deep, most definitely.
Marcus, Audrey Salvesen, what have you seen out of Boise State in their offense so far?
So far, in terms of in terms of their offense, we can obviously expect a good amount of run and also some pass. Although we have not gotten to Boise State's film yet, we will be preparing for it today, right after this, actually.
What do you remember, though, of the game last year playing against them and what they would try to do? I mean, they always seem to have the same style year after year. What do you think of Boise playing last year against them?
I think it was a challenging game for us overall. Going into it this year, I believe that, 2020 is in the past, and I do believe that we are a new team.
Marcus, we've heard a lot about with the chemistry between you guys and the new coaching staff and how your physicality and endurance is a little bit better. What's the confidence and the trust level, like specifically with schematics and with the X's and O's? And are you confident with Coach Banda and his style and that they're going to come up with the best game plan for you guys?
Most definitely. Been working with Coach Banda, obviously, for a couple months now, and we are definitely confident in him. Definitely confident within ourselves as well. And when the game plan comes for the week, we will be prepared.
Anything else for Marcus? Okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I was just going to ask, what do you think of playing with Justin Rice? He's 2 weeks player of the week. What is it like playing with him? What have you seen from him so far?
I've definitely seen a great player. I definitely enjoy being out on the field with him. Much respect for that guy. He's a great player. Absolutely.